Welcome back to Smoke Red Barbecue's YouTube channel. Today I'm going to feature the most simplest approach to brisket that you ever can possibly imagine. The method I'm doing today, I'm going to call it Keep It Simple. It is not complicated to do brisket. People want to make brisket out to be this impossible thing that you can't do. You only can do if you have humongous offset smokers. And even then, it's still a long process and you have to stay up all night and so on and so forth. Not the case. To do a brisket properly, there are some steps you have to follow, stay close attention to, but that's it. What I'm doing today, as you'll see in the video, is lump charcoal with post oak chunks, and that's it. We're gonna wrap it once the color gets to a certain color that we wanna achieve for the brisket, wrap it with butcher paper, and go until it's probe tender. That's it. Once it's done, I'll pull off to let it rest. We'll go ahead and cue that beautiful brisket footage now. And any questions, we'll come back to you when we are eating this beautiful brisket. This is what we have right now. We just did a couple cooks, maybe some smash burgers on this recently. Nothing too big, nothing too extreme. There's a little layer of charcoal in here. We definitely can use this, so I'm gonna go get some wood chunks and add those to it, as well as add new charcoal. I like to do wood logs now in this guy with lump charcoal, and not necessarily just wood chunks, but this is all I had at the store, so that's what I went with. And additionally, these are a lot smaller than I would normally do as well, so that's why I'm putting a lot more than what you normally see for a smoke like this. Now we're going to add the charcoal. More, some oak. This is post oak going on. There we go. Pretty good. I think the dog got some. We'll grab it before he does something stupid with it. I have that big grill gun torch, but today I'm actually just using something a little smaller. Something I picked up at Lowe's. It is I think advertised as a weed torch or a garden torch. This is what you'd use to clean up weeds in your driveway. I'm using this because it's a small flame. Only will get a little bit of charcoal going. That way, it's not going to get it too hot too quickly for the long cook that we have planned for tonight. And there we go. It's got a long ways to go. That's okay. This is all about controlling the temperature as it comes up. So I'm going to put the deflector plate on now. And actually, it looks like there's some charcoal in the way. There you go. There we go. Okay, so now this is on. I'm going to put a pan here with water before I put the grate on. So I'll come back to you when I'm doing that. This might be a little bit of overkill. And yes, this is a huge pan. I bought them at Sam's Club. I didn't realize how big they actually were. It was for something else. I'm just making do with what I have versus going out wasting more money to buy something else. So this will work. It's a little excessive. And the grate goes on right at the top of it. And yep, there is it's not even touching the deflector plate. It's actually being held up by the pan, which is fine. It's just not what I was expecting, that's all. This is all about low and slow. Get this probe right here, not exactly over the water, because then that would probably ruin the probe temperature. Will ruin the probe. It'll distort the temperature reading, what it actually is in the pit, and then get this closed. Also, here's some sparks already starting to form. So I'm also going to close this down too. Start off with probably full. We'll temper this down as we get closer to the target temperature. And as well, right now this is open probably, my finger, it's probably under an inch. Open this a little bit more. Come up the temperature, and then we'll tamper it down as we get closer and closer to what we're trying to get for temperature wise. And I'm hoping for 275, and from there we'll adjust as we need to. Now this is the fun part. Don't skimp out pepper and salt. This is this was an empty container. This is not Kansas City style barbecue rub. Trust me. I just unscrewed the top, put in my own 50-50 mixture of pepper and salt. Yeah, dog's kind of in a way, huh? Yeah.
Scooch.
Make sure you get the sides. And if you do this right, this is all good flavor too. Oops, I ran out. We'll have to go get closer to missile, switching the guns. I have to use my own grinder. Be right back. So this is just coarse ground black pepper. This is what I had in the container before I ran out. I'm not sure I finished my thought, but if you're doing this right with the trimming, again going for like a 1/4 inch, this is why you want to make sure you are applying the proper rub to the back as well. So this is all going to be edible, and trust me, you want to eat this. Might not look good at the moment, but it will be in about 12 hours. I'll have to sit for a little bit, come up as the barbecue still comes up to temp, and we'll get it on. I'm going to put this brisket on. I'm going to open this lid first. There will be a lot of smoke, but don't let that scare you. It's not going to make the brisket taste bad or acidic or anything like that. This is all good. So what I like to do is the fat side down. And as this works out very perfectly, it's actually right over all this tray. That's worked out very nicely. And we have an extra barbecue rub right here, nice and clean. That's going to go in the thinner part of the meat, right in the flat right here, point back here. Close the lid and let it ride. It's been a few hours. Thought I'd take a look at it. I'm doing pretty good. Good coloring on that. It's hard to tell with this lighting that we have and the fact that it's dark out. But like what we're seeing some still good smoke. A lot of good water in there as well. Like how it's going. Don't want to close this lid. Don't want the charcoal to get too hot too quickly. Don't want to give it too much air. Looking pretty good. We have internal temperature around 170. So now I'm going to wrap the brisket with butcher paper. Now this is actually fat side up, meat side down. It just worked out that way when I was wrapping it, and I'm not going to change it too much because I liked how it's wrapped when I wanted that to mess it up. So be aware of that. When you're temp probing it, make sure where your temp probing is where you want to be temp probing. So go in, a good chunk of meat goes down. Now I'm going to dial down these guys just a little bit because it was a little hotter. It was like 280, 290, just a little bit hot. And actually, I already dialed that one down. So if you can see it, because it's so dark out. Okay. And we are still rocking steady with this cook, liking what I'm doing. Catch you probably when I wake up in the morning. We hit a internal temperature of 200 degrees right here. So now I want to figure out if we are done for the rest of the cook. I don't need to be poking too many holes in this butcher paper, but I do have to do some. So sparingly, we'll see how this goes. So now I'm going for tenderness, not exactly going for temperature. Felt like it went in pretty well. Yeah, so did that one. think we are actually done. I'm going to do one more, just to make sure. Yeah, we're done. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm now going to take this probe, get my gloves because it's probably a little toasty warm. A cooler ready. I'm going to put it in a blanket or a towel in a cooler to let it rest. I'm going to close this down while I get everything else ready. And feeling it too. It feels very done. That's also a good thing. Of note, you can see how, well, I'm not sure how well you can see this. Almost all the water is actually gone. So that is a lot of water that boiled off, tenderizing, keeping the meat moist and the bark good for the rest of that cook. You have the brisket in here. I'm gonna get one more towel, put it on top, close it up, and let it rest for at least 2 hours. Is going to slice it up, but before I do that, I want to give you a little, see that that jiggle on that brisket. That's what you're going for. You know it's probably nice and tender on the inside, so that's good. And with any brisket, make sure you are cutting the flat against the grain. I can see the grain going this way, so I will cut it perpendicular to that this way. And then halfway through, I'm going to stop and get the point, which is way back here. You can't see exactly where I'm pointing to, pun intended. Right here, I'll do this different direction slices because that's a different meat, and make sure you want to cut that also against the grain. So here we go. You know, a couple of slices in. I just want to give you guys an example of what we're going with here. And there's obviously there's still some fat, which is good and okay. And there's that just is going to come right off. Pretty good. Couple more in. And just a fluke. So same thing here. Beautiful, a little thin strip of fat makes a good flavor. And it just falls apart. And two, this is like the bend test or what they do. It's not going to fall apart by itself. You have to actually pull it. That's a good brisket right there. Beautiful smoke ring. Awesome. And then last one before I get to the point again, all this flat looks to be very nicely cooked, not dried out, which sometimes can happen for the flat. Not today, which is awesome. Now this is the part I love doing, slicing these guys in half and then doing this one perpendicular to it. It's always a fun time to see the inside of all the muscle rendered down also at the fat. Looks pretty good. That off to the side. Call it pretty good. See, it's now cut this in half right here. Now I'm going to do slices this way.
being very gentle with this too, because it is very tender. Now, if you ask me, that right there is the best part of the brisket. Thick slices of from the point, and it's also very good. Slices from the edges of the point, like we like to call in our brisket world, burnt ends. Not much better than that right there. Oh, beautiful smoke ring, looks incredible. So I'll slice some more of this stuff up and come back to you when I look more presentable for a taste test.
We are here. Brisket is done. Ready to give it a try. We have some forks here too, but let's just look at that beautiful burn end. Smoke ring looks incredible. Full disclosure, this is not the same day that we cooked this brisket. No, that was yesterday.
Day after.
Well, day after. We couldn't get to it for some reason. Things kept coming in the way. But here it is now. And by no means does it taste any worse.
Except that there's less of it.
You can see the smoke ring too. Oh, I was very happy with how this turned out.
Except that there's less of it.
Yeah, I took it to work. It disappeared. Just gone. They were really raring to eat that thing. Could not believe it. Okay, burn end. I didn't do burn ends. This is just a slice from the crust of the point.
Yep, it still tastes like pulled pork.
This little sous chef says it tastes like pulled pork. I'm not sure why. Why do you think that is? Is it the smoke thing? Is it just overpowering the meat?
Maybe. I think it. Didn't you cook this the same way as pulled pork?
Yes.
That's probably why it tastes like it.
Barbecue is pretty much cooked normally the same. Sometimes you might do a different wood, different flavors, but yeah. So we do have a piece of the piece of the flat right here. My fork on my. Can you hold my fork really quick? Thanks. Again, I mean, obviously I'm doing the pull test. It was a really fair pull test since it had been reheated to do this.
But it's still like melted.
Still melt in your mouth. Still absolutely delicious. Still really good. And my favorite, the point here is fatty and so good. That's amazing.
I have rest of this because you're not eating it.
Go for it. Tell you what, try this right here. That bark. Try that. When you're done chewing. Again.
That wasn't a big piece though.
It wasn't?
No.
It's really filling sometimes. Try and chew all that meat. Like you think about all that like from like a hamburger standpoint. It's a lot of piece of hamburger that's in your mouth. Kind of the same concept there. Is that pretty good? Oof, that's America right there. This was a very simple method. Don't.
It does taste like. Tastes like Home Depot.
Home Depot.
It's all in the wood section. In the wood section in Home Depot. It tastes like. I can taste the wood.
Maybe like a.
I can taste the wood. That's
just
why
like a campsite.
No, it's about the wood section in Home Depot.
Well, there you go.
It tastes like it.
Okay. Well, that means we're getting good smoke flavor. Hopefully it's not too bitter.
Nope.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Do not overthink a brisket. It can be a beautiful, amazing thing when you're just having a good time cooking for your family. So there you go. Any questions about how we got these cool T-shirts? Smoke by Barbecue, or Family Barbecue come together. Look in the description for Teespring.
Smoke by Barbecue, where family and barbecue come together.
Yeah, there, and that's it right there. Nothing more to state. I don't overstate that enough. Check in the description for where you can get these cool shirts. Some other merchandise down there on the bottom.
And leggings and masks, face masks.
All that good stuff.
Face mask.
Yep. Leggings,
Shirts.
more shirts, sweatshirt, bandana? I don't think bandana. Bandana. I don't think so.
Bandana.
Until next time, everybody.
Bandana.
Hope you're having a great rest of your day. Any questions, please let us know. And as always, keep barbecuing America. Cheers.
That's funny to say. Bandana.
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 Band.
Anna.
Anna.
Bandana.
Does Anna wear bands? Or does bands or bands Anna?
That's funny to say. Bandana.